Okay, done.
Dilemmas of India's great power ambitions.
So what is the meaning of dilemmas? Like being in a state of confusion.
Acha.
If you're confused, I am in a dilemma. I am not able to decide. So that's a state. That situation is called dilemmas.
Confusion.
Yeah, confusion. Same. It is a synonym of confusion.
What kind of global
Hmm.
power will India be?
Hmm.
There are those who argue
Hmm.
that India should aspire to be great power and assert
Hmm.
its growing power internationally.
Hmm.
Others argue that India should focus on the uplift of millions of its people above the poverty line,
Hmm.
improve governance and reconcile within the country before venturing into making a better world.
Hmm.
What kind
So
of
this is very easy, right? I think this is very easy. Break one single line into multiple things and you will be able to get the answer out of that. So what kind of global power will India be?
what,
What kind of?
किस टाइप का ग्लोबल
Right,
पावर
right. So which type of power?
बन सकता है इंडिया
So
किस
which kind of power? Which kind of global power? Like there are actually US is a global power, and China is also a global power. Russia is also a global power, right? So you see the difference between these three countries, right? The attitude, right? The behavior, the growth, right? So US is more benevolent, right? Because everybody goes to US to settle there, right? To fun, but nobody goes to China. Means most of the people would prefer to go to US instead of going to China, right? So which kind of power India would like to be? Which kind of global power India would like to be? That it should be hospitable for all the people around the world, right? Like everybody wants to come to India, or it just want to become like actually like the China, so that like very communist, very hardliner, very radical kind of country that nobody would be interested to come to China, right? So which kind of power you would like to be? Like suppose if I want to ask you that which kind of IAS officer you would like to be, right? Whether you would become an IAS officer who will take a lot of kind of actually bribe, or a very corrupt officer, or you will become a very honest officer who will be serving the country, right? So that the country could grow, right? Upliftment of the people, right? You understand, right? So this is the meaning, like what kind of global power will India be? So this is hardcore international relation.
There are those who argue that India should aspire to be great power and assert its growing power internationally. मतलब जो लोग ये आर्ग्यू करते हैं कि इंडिया को मतलब एक ग्रेट पावर होना चाहिए इंडिया में, और इंटरनेशनली मतलब ग्रोइंग पावर होना चाहिए.
There are those, means there are those people, right, who argue that India should aspire to be a great power. Means there are people, means there are like suppose like 100 people of this side, 100 people are sitting this side. So these 100 people are saying that India should aspire to be a global power, and on the other hand there are 100 people are also sitting, and what they are saying, now read further, right? So like there are those
Those.
who argue that India should aspire to be a great power. Like suppose in your family there are 5 members, 3 members are saying to you that you should aspire to become a lawyer, and what about the rest of the 2 people? So read about further.
ये asserts है.
And assert its
Assert
growing power
its-
internationally, means India should become a global power, and assert its growing power, means the India is growing, right? So the power that it has, so India should start claiming that yes, we are becoming the great power, right? So give us a lot of importance and all these kind of things, right? If you are able to understand in English, it's fine. Otherwise, I'll make you understand in Hindi, because our most purpose is to get into mind that what actually this means, right? You'll have to forget about that this is happening, right?
No.
Just focus on this.
ये लाइन नहीं समझ में. This it's growing power internationally.
Asserts its growing power. Assert its growing power internationally. Suppose India is here, and this is the entire world, right? So if India is going to the UNSC, right? So India would like suppose if India wants to become a global power, so India would want that I want a permanent seat in the United Nations Security Council. Means if I am that much of big stature, so I want my stake, right? So that is very simple.
Like some of the people sit here and
हाँ.
some of the sit here.
Yeah.
So
This is for example.
This example.
Means
But
from
one part is says that ki India should aspire to be a great power, and second part is says
No. See. Here what it is, that there are those who argue. So like suppose 100 people are sitting over here, okay, so now they are only saying, and these 100 people, they are now kept quiet, right? So these 100 people who are saying, who are supporting, so what they are saying, there are those who argue that India should aspire to be a great power and asserts its growing power internationally. Means this is a one line, means people say that India should aspire to, means India should actually try to be a global power, right? And try to claim that what kind of stake, right, or what kind of part it has in the country, right? And now here start like other arguments. So here start these 100 people, right? So now read other here others argue that
argues that India should focus on the uplift of million of its people above the poverty line, improve governance and reconcile within the country before venturing into making a better world.
yeah, this is very easy, you should try to make it. This is
Oth- and other argues that इंडिया को मतलब फोकस करना चाहिए अपलिफ्ट करने में मिलियन ऑफ पीपल की जो पोवर्टी मतलब गरीबी है लाइन है उससे ऊपर उठाने के लिए मतलब इंडिया को वो करना चाहिए फोकस करना चाहिए एंड इम्प्रूव गवर्नेंस एंड रिकंसाइल विद इन द कंट्री बिफोर वेंचरिंग इनटू बेटर वर्ल्ड.
So improving governance means what? Means like a lot of corruption is happening in the country, right? So we should put a stop onto that.
Reconcile means
Reconcile within the country. So just remember or recall Manipur. So reconcile within the country first. Means we should be very strong within the country. Means actually these kind of things should not happen in the country, right? So reconcile within the country. So wherever these kind of problems are arising in our country, so we should put a check on that, right? We should go and we should talk to the people. We should help the people, right? So that the things could get stabilized within the country, and then we should venture into, and then we should step out from our country and try to show to the world that yes, we are becoming a big power by showing with the examples, like we are sending the moon, like we are sending the Chandrayaan to the moon, right? So just by showing all things, then we should go out of that right country.
It is false.
So from here to here, what did you understand?
Means in first line author asked the
In
question.
Hindi, English, whatever you would like to say.
The author asked a question. What kind of the global power will India means
You should read it. What kind of?
what kind of global power will India be?
Yeah.
Will India be?
So it makes sense, right?
Which types of global which types of
What kind of?
means
You are explaining that. Okay.
which types of global power of India be will India be? There are those people who argues that India should aspire to be great power. मतलब कुछ लोग जो हैं वो ऐसा मतलब ऐसा आर्ग्यू करते हैं कि इंडिया को एक ग्रेट पावर होना चाहिए, मतलब इंटरनेशनली ग्रोइंग पावर होना चाहिए. और जो दूसरे लोग हैं, कुछ लोग हैं, वो आर्ग्यू करते हैं कि इंडिया को फोकस करना चाहिए अपनी जो मिलियन ऑफ द पीपल हैं कंट्री में, उनकी पोवर्टी को उठाने के लिए, उनकी गरीबी रेखा से उनको उठाने के लिए उस पर फोकस करना चाहिए. और इम्प्रूव गवर्नेंस, जो करप्शन ये सब जो हो रहा है उसको
just I have given you example, right? But it means actually that only. Okay.
and reconcile within the country before venturing into making a better world. Reconcile means peace.
Right. Making peace
within the country. Venturing means
to step out, means venturing out means to take a step towards something which is like unusual, which is not
Before,
like your actually comfort area. Then you like first set your house in order and then go and just help others.
Means we can say before became a better world.
No, before becoming a world power, India should reconcile in its home only, right? First, right? So you understood, right?
It is a false binary, notwithstanding the equally faulty, hyper nationalist and deeply pessimistic narratives. The story of the rise of India and the attendant challenges must be proactively and critically engaged. For the kind of power India would become will not only define the future of world in the important ways, but most definitely shape the destiny of its 1.4 billion and growing citizens.
So try to make
Binary
sense.
means?
Binary means something which is based on two things.
अच्छा,
Anything that is based on two, like your bike is a binary product, so it's based on the two wheels, right? So
understanding.
notwithstanding the equally faulty hyper nationalists, means people who are nationalists, who support the nation, but they are hyper, means even above that degree, means mad kind of people who just want India without thinking that what India is, how India can be improved, what kind of problems we have in our country,
Notwithstanding means?
without taking into the things into account.
अच्छा,
Means here the meaning would be despite, होने के बावजूद भी.
अच्छा.
Despite यहाँ पे you can replace this notwithstanding with despite. So despite the equally faulty और hyperness, सेम थिंग्स, इक्वली फॉल्टी मीन्स दोनों चीज़ फॉल्टी हैं, ठीक है, दोनों चीज़ में कमियाँ हैं. क्या है, एक तो हाइपर नेशनलिस्ट है कंट्री, मतलब इस वक्त, क्योंकि नेशन मतलब बिल्कुल धर्म मानता है बिल्कुल, ठीक है ना, बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब हाई स्तर पर. क्योंकि जैसे मान लो मॉब लिंचिंग हो जाती है, तो एक मतलब धर्मांता है कि गाय को कैसे लेकर के जा रहे हो, क्या है, मतलब बस ऐसे ही सुना और मार दिया. तो हाइपर नेशनलिज्म के ये एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, ठीक है ना. सो हाइपर नेशनलिस्ट एंड डीपली पेसिमिस्टिक नैरेटिव्स. So here the pessimistic means negativity.
अच्छा.
Negativity kind of things that are there in the mind of the people in our country, right? So negative things, negative means deeply pessimistic, बहुत ज़्यादा negativity है किस चीज़ को लेके. The story of the rise of India, that how India would rise. So we have a story which gives very negative kind of symptoms earlier, like if we go like as back as like 1991 or like 1980s or 70s, or when the British were ruling to us, then if we see that the actually India of that time, then we are able to understand how negative we were, like everything was just like going very negative kind of things, right? So very deeply, so here the pessimistic kind of narratives, and the story of the rise of India, the attendant challenges means
Attendance.
right now what kind of challenges do we have in our country, like Manipur example you can take, right? So like these kind of actual challenges we have, right? And the poverty, the unemployment, right? So these kind of challenges do we have or not?
Yeah.
So here the meaning of that means author is actually saying that before becoming a great power, we should know that what are the attendant challenges, right? The challenges that we are going to attend first, right? So we'll have to address them first, right? Must be proactively and critically engaged, for the kind of power India would become will not only define the future of the world in important ways, but most definitely shape the destiny of its 1.4 billion and growing citizens. So now if you are able to make some sense out of this.
To engage the kind of, for the kind of power India would become will not future in the very important ways, but most
The story of the rise of India means, actually if we saying that story, so that means something has already happened in the past. Like if I ask you to tell me the story of your life, right? So what would you tell? Would you tell me about the future, or would you tell something that has happened in your life? Happened in your life, right? So that means here in this particular editorial we will be talking about the India's past also, right? In order to understand how India can become the global power. Right? If you have studied like really well, only then you'll be able to perform really well in the examination, right? So if India's past had been really well, or we have been progressing right in the meantime, like from there to up to this time, only then we can become the global power. So we'll be understanding that how India was actually, right? And then we'll be moving forward. So this is what it means, right? And the attendant challenge means what kind of challenges India has, right? So must be proactively and critically engaged. So India should be proactively, means you should be active, but means hyperactive, means you should be double active. Proactive means, right? You should be means 100% involved in the issues of India, for like poverty, the unemployment, and the reconciliation with like Manipur and all these kind of people, like secessionist kind of tendencies, nationalist kind of tendencies, right? So we'll have to understand this and then critically engage, and we should take things but like very very kind of we should go to understand things very minutely, that what is the exact issue.
जैसे यहाँ पे must be लिखा है, तो must be को यहाँ से कैसे रिलेट करना है?